Okay, before we get into the actual topic of the video, just look at this. Look at this. I woke up to this morning at like 5 a.m. I wasn't expecting this at all. Someone who I commissioned like years ago for a piece of art. This was the first time I've heard from them pretty much since then, like years ago. Yeah, this is, I wasn't expecting this at all, and I am still blown away by this just amazing piece of art. So, shout out to Yoinky Spoinky on Twitter. With that, if anyone watching happens to draw like my dino mascot or just like I guess anything related to me, or even if you just like to share your art, join my Discord in the description. We got an art channel in there that's been a good place for sharing Sonic art or just like pretty much anything that people have been drawing. So hey, join up. I am more than happy to see your art. But to get to the topic at hand, last night I finally got around to reading the Chaotix 30th anniversary spin-off comic for IDW written by the legendary Daniel Barnes, which by the way I read Scrapnik Island for the first time a few days ago too. Pure cinema, loved it. But when I woke up this morning and before I saw that lovely piece of art, I just like immediately was just like thinking about Espio and just how much I love the character, which has been more of a recent development for me. I'm coming to appreciate a lot of Sonic characters more these days, just because I've been studying the series a lot lately and discovering more aspects of it that I never really looked into in the past. And I always knew I liked the Chaotix. I always just liked their whole dynamic and everything. But man, IDW really, like, when they show up in IDW, they steal the show. Especially in the 30th anniversary spinoff. And now I could format this video to be focused on the Chaotix, but specifically, I think Espio needs more love, you know? What really sold this character for me was there was a tweet that Daniel Barnes put out where he basically sees Espio as very similar to Po from Kung Fu Panda. Basically, like, in Espio's case, instead of Kung Fu, he nerded out on, like, the ninja arts so hard, like he geeked out so hard that he like legitimately just became like a badass ninja. A lot like Po, you know, at the beginning of his story, like he's just a big like geek for Kung Fu, but through like hard work, dedication, and passion, he was able to become, you know, like one of the strongest martial artists in that universe. And I love the idea that like the same thing, that there's like a writer out there who feels the same way about Espio. And I just loved the style of the Chaotix 30th anniversary thing. It fits each of the Chaotix very well, and it brought to light like certain aspects of Espio's character that I don't think we've ever seen like portrayed to like this degree, because there's a section where he is recalling certain events like from his perspective. So it's very stylized and he's speaking in this very like noir, like poetic tone. And I love the idea of Espio being like a mixture of like it's very like a ninja who is a detective and kind of has like that hard-boiled detective vibe to him. Not as much as like Vector, of course, because Vector like literally has like the accent for that, but Espio just like being in that sort of job position and having the personality that he does, it's just this like really fun combination of things. My favorite part where he was like, I broke off from the group and went on my hourly patrol. The Mythsonian slept, nestled beneath a blanket of darkness. Its glass cases shimmered like koi ponds in the pale moonlight. My footfalls made no sound. To the untrained ear, I was silence itself. Like, I love that. Like, this was like a section from this comic. I need like a whole issue. I need a whole series that's formatted like this. Like a whole Chaotix series would be amazing in and of itself, whether that be like, you know, maybe its own comic run or a show or maybe a movie or something. I think a series would suit them best, like an episodic thing where it's like something different's happening every episode, because that way we get more content with them, you know? But specifically, I want to see like episodes or chapters, whatever, that are like solely focused on Espio alone and like showing his perspective on things. Like, man, I woke up this morning, I just like wanted to start writing about Espio, like writing like a spin-off story of him. I'm actually working on my own Sonic AU right now called Sonic Slice. You can actually see at the top of the description for this video, like an early work in progress version of the very first scene for this AU. I'll definitely be making announcements when the first chapter drops, but I absolutely have plans for the Chaotix in this series, and I will absolutely be writing like chapters that are like solely focused on Espio. I gotta do it at least once. And it's called Sonic Slice because it's like a slice of life thing, but like set, you know, in the Sonic universe, kind of loosely based on like the main game canon. But you know, I'll be taking liberties where I feel is necessary. And in the 30th anniversary spinoff, they have this like new character called Enigma. She seems like she could be like a very fitting like arch nemesis rival type character to Espio. She very much matches his skill set. She seems to have similar interests in like artifacts and stuff. So Daniel Barnes is definitely, you know, setting the grounds for like a good like a whole ass like chaotic spin-off series. Like the material is there. They just need to let him do it. They need to let somebody do it. Preferably Daniel Barnes, because he is very clearly passionate about the Chaotix, and he very clearly has a lot of fun writing these characters. And if you haven't yet, I recommend watching the comic dub of the 30th anniversary by the channel Corby's Cubby. Phenomenal work. Like, it's like straight up like Hollywood budget tier like voice acting. The sound mixing is really good. The pacing's really good. I genuinely feel like this is the closest thing we have right now to like what a Chaotix like animated series would look like. It just gave me the feeling of watching like a proper like big budget TV show, but like for the Chaotix, which is like a dream of mine. And on that topic, I've said this before like on stream and in clips and stuff, but I think it's appropriate to talk about it here as well. I think what would be really good for the movie universe, for the Sonic movie universe, is if we got a Chaotix series like on Paramount. And you're probably thinking like, oh, like a live action one like the Knuckles show, and you're probably already thinking like of how limited that might be. Like it would probably have to be like, what, you know, 4 episodes. Like if they wanted to lock in on having all 3 of the Chaotix be there prominently, it would have to be a pretty short series. But I have a solution. Instead of making it live action, it could still be set in the live action universe. But we do kind of like, if you've ever seen Creature Commandos, which is set in the same universe as the new Superman movie, but it's like 2D animated, do that, but with the Chaotix, right? Now, I do think ideally, if there was to be a Chaotix series, I would like it to be like in the game universe, or at least in a universe more suited to being like cartoony and everything, to where you can have like more out there things happening than what the movie universe is usually able to do. If I had to choose like how they would format it in the live action universe, that's how I would do it. It's like 2D animated, and you know, I think it'd be really fun. They could do a lot of fun things with like the style of it. Kind of like the 30th anniversary comic, where you have like Vector, Charmy, and Espio like recounting events from certain cases from their own POVs. You'll have like the more like hard-boiled noir like style that Vector goes for, and then you'll just have like the very like to the point, very childish recounts that Charmy would have, which would probably have the most inaccuracies out of all of them. And then like a sort of flowery, poetic vibe to Espio's. It's really funny too, because recently I was thinking about just like, man, I bet Espio just like loves poetry, and that might be canon. That might be where I'm getting that idea from anyway. But after reading 30th Anniversary last night, I was like, oh no, he literally is into this. And with the, you know, the Poe comparison from before, obviously Espio and Poe aren't exactly the same personality-wise, because Poe is more like, you know, he's Jack Black. He's like, whoa, bodacious, you know. Love Poe. Love Kung Fu Panda. But Espio is more like, he's more subdued, but he's not exactly like super serious. Like he's no Shadow, you know. He's a little more silly than Shadow, and of course I think Shadow should be more silly anyway, but that's a topic for another time, and something I already touched on in my last video. I love the part in 30th Anniversary where Espio like startles Amy, and she almost hits him with her hammer, and Vector's all like, that was a close one, but it wouldn't have been the first time you gotten your butt kicked in this exhibit, eh, old pal? Through hardship, one's skills are honed, an unkicked butt is an inexperienced mind. Like the way he just takes what Vector says and twists it into like talking about like the ninja arts. I'm sorry, there's probably a better phrase for that than just ninja arts, but I can't think of it right now. I don't think Espio has any specific art that he practices. I think it is just like generic ninja arts, but that's fine. Like Espio is very dramatic, but he's not without whimsy and fun. Like, he has a lot of pride in what he does and, like, who he is. And while he may not be a loud character like Vector is, he isn't, like, any less willing to sort of, like, strut his stuff, you know? So yeah, the takeaway for this video is there is a lot of storytelling potential for not just the Chaotix, but for Espio in particular, and I would like to see more of that sooner rather than later. I don't usually read fanfics, but honestly, if anyone has like any recommendations for ones that I could read that sort of like align with the version of Espio that I like that I've described in this video, definitely let me know where I can find them. And also let me know what do you think of Espio? I'd like to see some different perspectives on him. I haven't seen a whole lot of like discussion on Espio. I feel like he is a bit of an underrated character in the series. I really feel like he deserves more flowers. So that's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to specifically, like, title and thumbnail be, like, focused on Espio, and, like, the majority of the topic for this video to be focused on him, just because I wanted to give him more attention than I feel like he receives. And keep an eye out for my next video, because unless I make another one of these types of videos, my next video should be my Zaz video essay, finally. The script is finished. I wasn't quite able to get it to 3,000 words like I promised, but I think I got somewhere to like 2,400, which is, you know, close enough. Honestly, the fact that I was even able to get that much out of Zaz is crazy. And for those that don't know, I made a bet during the Game Awards that if they didn't announce a new mainline Sonic game, that I was going to write a 3,000 to 4,000 word essay on Zaz. And as you probably know, there was no game announcement, so I got to work on the script, and the script is done. So now I just need to record it, and I want to add like relevant visuals to the video as well. But anyways, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.